everybody, what's going on? Today we are taking a look at Shanghaien, a two-player dice game in which you are trying to take over your opponent's pirates, Shanghai them, and walk away with the most victory points. Let me show you how the game works. The object of the game is to Shanghai your opponent's pirates. And to do that, we're going to take the deck of cards here, we're going to shuffle, and then we're going to flip over. For each round, we're going to flip over 6 of these and put them in a line between the two players. So there we have 3, 4, and 5, and 6. And then each player, whoever's going first, you can decide that randomly. Basically, on your turn, you're going to do one of two things. The first thing you're going to have to do, because you cannot do the other one yet, is you're going to take 2 dice, you're going to roll them. So I have a 2 and a 6, and then I'll choose to assign these anywhere I want to. And so the star player can actually decide if they want this to be the one or this card to be the one and move across. So let's say I want to try to get that orange card. So I'm going to say this is 1, we're going that way, and this is the 6th, and I'll put the die there in front of it. And this one will just go back to my pool. Then the other player will roll 2 dice as well. And they can pick to place the 2 or the 5, and so they're going to place the 2 here. Back to me, I would roll. There we go, a 2 and a 6, and then I can either put this here and try to fight with this person for that, because whoever has the most dice will take the card once we've passed, or I can try to reinforce my 6 there, but I'm going to do that. So I try to wrestle that away from them. Then it's their turn, and they will roll a 3 and a 1, and they're going to put the 1 right there. Now, at this point, now that there's 2 dice out there, now I have a new choice on my turn. I can either continue to roll and add strength to my forces there to Shanghai these people, or I can call around and say Shanghai. At that point, we would compare who's winning what, and that person would take the card and put it in front of them. If there's a tie like this, then we compare the dice next to the card. So in this case, red would actually take this card, and they would win this one because of this tiebreaker die here. So I don't really want to do that. So I would continue. So let's say I think, okay, let me do at least one more here. 3. I got 3 also. I can live with that. And then they, and now by the way, I would break that tie, because if it's the same number of dice, then we look at pips, and then they would roll. And they would get a 1 and a 3, and they're going to play that 3 right there where it landed. Boom. Okay, back to me. Let's say I'm calling it for some reason. We would compare. And so the 3 here is a perfect tie. No one's going to get that. 1 goes to them. 2 goes to them. And this one comes here to me. These would go back to each player. These would be discarded. And we would play another round until the deck is gone. Now, there's one new kind of card that I want to show you here. So let's say this is round 2. We are setting up all the cards, and we get that one there. That kind of card is an action card. You win it just like you win the other ones. Let me give you a close-up here. And once you have it, then on a future turn, you can do one of the 2 things that it shows. It lets you re-roll both dice before you place one, or it lets you add or subtract 1 to one of the dice you rolled. So very useful. And there's a few of those in the deck. This one, reroll, or 2 wild pirates that you get to add to a set, and it counts as 6 of that kind, like so. And usually they're 2 combinations of different things like that. This one lets you have the 2 wild pirates, or you can place both dice you rolled on that turn. And so all of this that you're doing is to win points. And once the deck is completely gone, then you're going to compare each color you have to your opponent's color. And so let's say we have this. They have 5 orange here, and I've decided to make that orange, so I have 6 orange. Well, I'm going to get 4 orange. The strength of the pirates I'm able to beat up and have dominance over. So for orange, I'll get 5. But if my opponent had this, and I still had 6, then for orange I get 2. So, once you've got a nice big lead in something, and your opponent has nothing in that color, you need to be really careful that they don't get some low card. Because if your opponent has nothing in that color, then you do score your own. So I would get 8. But if they're able to snatch even this one card, they're suddenly taking my score in orange from 8 to 3. That's basically the game. You play until the deck is completely gone. You count up the points in each. You see who wins. They get the other person's points unless they have none, and so you get your points. And whoever has the most points at the end of the game is the winner of Shanghaien. So there you have it. As you can see, a pretty simple game. I really like, in this game, the ebb and flow of the game is what does it for me. Just the pace of the whole thing. Grab a couple dice, roll and place them. At some point, either you run out of dice and have to say Shanghai, or you just call it early because you want that advantage that's on the table now. You are watching the pirates your opponent has or doesn't have because you don't want them to get it. I really enjoy it. I think it's a tremendous, simple two-player card game with dice, and it really just works for me. I've had great success teaching this game. It's a nice theme, though really it's fairly pasted on, as you can tell, but you know what? It makes for nice graphics, and it works. It works for this. And so I'm a big fan of this one. This is one I regard very highly as a two-player filler game that feels unique, feels interesting, gives you some sort of area control where you're grabbing the people, making sure your opponent doesn't get any. Sometimes you go back and forth fighting for something. It gets really tense and exciting near the end of the game where two people are really close the two players are really close for a specific color, and you flip one more in that color, and now it is on for that card. So I really like this one, and I think you should check it out. Shanghaien, an excellent, excellent two-player game.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.